Well, as we reported last week, late-night talk show host Jimmy Fallon is the latest high-profile figure to come under fire for allegedly fostering a toxic workplace, with employees revealing his behaviour had negative impact on their mental health.
Here to give us some advice on this issue is career expert Sue Elson. Good morning, Sue. Firstly, how do you tell if you're in a toxic workplace or you're just dealing with a tough boss?
Well, a toxic workplace is going to have multiple bad behaviours from multiple different people. Now, a tough boss is somebody who's likely to be hyper-focused on tasks and productivity. But the scary part about a toxic workplace is it can actually lead to high turnover, low productivity, and if you make a formal complaint, an unfair dismissal. And scarily, about 38% of the reports lodged with the Fair Work Commission are related to unfair dismissals. So, yeah, it can be quite tricky if you are in that toxic
It's
place.
scary, though, if you're an employee. So what's the first step that they should do if they do find themselves in an unhealthy work environment?
Well, they really need to identify what they're anxious about and think about how they're going to manage that. Ideally, discuss it with their direct manager and then work out what's going to happen. Keep a written record of everything, date, time, what happened, how you're trying to resolve it. And then the organisation will probably have some sort of policy around what to do next, whether that's going to HR, internal or external supports, but try and look after your well-being through that process because it can be tricky.
But you bring up there speaking to your direct manager, but that can be intimidating and really scary for some employees. So what's your advice there?
Well, yes, it can be. And the Fair Work Ombudsman has a great online course about managing difficult conversations at work. So you could definitely look at doing that. The Fair Work Commission has a lot of resources there that will tell you the next steps that you can take if you need to do something outside of the workplace. Respectatwork.gov.au is another website that has resources. So you might be able to access an employee assistance program and speak to somebody externally. And you can also call Lifeline. They have an amazing database of resources that are suitable for people who are in crisis and need to find some local help.
Well, I mean, looking at Jimmy Fallon, and it's the same as Ellen DeGeneres a couple of years back, Elon Musk has all but destroyed the workforce at Twitter. They create these unstable work environments. You know, it's chaos. So what can employers do to improve culture at work?
Well, they need to encourage leaders to be authentic and transparent and be having leaders who are willing to walk towards a problem rather than away from it. They need to be willing to respond, to act, to make changes, and they possibly might need to do a risk assessment because some industries are obviously more likely to be toxic than others.
What if you've tried everything, Sue, and you still don't feel comfortable? When do you know that you should just walk away from that job?
Well, if it's got to the point where you really can't cope with it anymore, you're going to have to consider your options. And you still need to have that written record of everything. Ideally, it would be great if you can resolve it because obviously it's going to be better for the organisation you're in, but also for skills for where you go to next. But please, just look after your well-being, talk to friends and family, trusted people outside of work. Don't ruminate with your co-workers, that can cause problems. But if you can develop these skills of having difficult conversations, it could improve your life in many different ways.
Sue, some great advice again. Great to see you, mate. We'll see you soon.
Sue.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my God, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?